Hello everyone, welcome to another live. This is Paint Your Dream World. My name is Bobby and I work with acrylic paint and I do mainly landscapes. If you're new to me, welcome. If you're a subscriber and you are familiar with the channel and what we do, welcome back. And we are live again with this painting. I'm working on the cabin today and I've decided to use dark red and umber for painting the cabin. So let's go ahead and start. As I mentioned earlier, I am working with acrylic paint and I'm gonna be using a small flat brush and some detail brushes here. I'm gonna wait for a few more people to join and then we're gonna go ahead and start. All right, welcome. If you just joined, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And if you haven't joined yet, well, I hope you will join. I have dark red, bright red, black, and raw umber. I'm gonna add a touch of black to my dark red and make the shadow color for this side of the cabin where it doesn't catch the moonlight really. It's gonna be in the shadows. I think red and the blue, they go together. I think it's a good combination color wise. I'm not sure, but I think it will work. I did this on another painting and it came out okay. Under the eaves, always going to be darker. So we're going to go a bit darker for under the eaves. We're going to make darker shade of that red, basically adding black to it. When you add black to a hue, you create a darker shade of that color. And when you add white to a paint, to a hue, you make a tint of that color. And a hue is a color that does not have black or white in it. Cadmium red hue is primary red that does not have any white or black in it. Red, cadmium red light might have white in it. It depends on the company where you buy your paint from, whatever they add to it. So when we add black to a shade, to a hue, we create a shade of that color, basically a darker version of it. So I hope this will help. If you hear this in the future, if someone tell you make a darker shade of that color, you know what they mean. If they tell you make a tint of that color, you add white. Okay. Of course, if a color has white in it already and you add black, you're essentially adding gray. So that doesn't work there. The concept is different. So we're gonna go ahead and apply this red over here. And if this looks already done, it's not done, I'm I'm transforming an older painting, so that's why you see some stuff on the canvas. Don't get confused. I'm gonna have vegetation and then, you know, bushes and stuff like that over here, so I'm not gonna paint all the way. Just gonna lay some color over here. Now for this area, I'm gonna go ahead with that dark. And feel free to stop me and make a comment and tell me where you're watching from if you have any questions. Anna Faye, that looks super cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. A bit black. We're gonna go a bit darker for under the eaves. And over here as well. And for this side where it catches the moonlight, I'm gonna go a bit brighter. Thank you very much. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate it. Really appreciate your support. Maybe a bit brighter. So I'm working with acrylics. The good thing, the beauty of it is that if I don't like what I see, if it doesn't work with the overall color composition of the painting, I can go ahead and paint over it. So acrylic is forgiving that way. Really, there is no commitment with acrylic paintings. I mean, you could change your mind every second, you know. So if you are very indecisive, like I am, you are in business with acrylic paint. So continuing with this flat brush, and apply this bright red over here again. For under the eaves, I'm gonna go ahead and create darker value of that color. Did you paint it originally or did you buy it? And no, I did paint. It was an older painting. This is a second painting I did for YouTube like a year and a half ago, and you see some, you know, brush strokes over here. That's clearly I was in a rush to finish the video, and then I'm going, you know, over it. I'm just transforming it, and I thought, you know, it would be a good subject matter for live. No, this is my painting. I didn't. If I buy a painting, I don't mess with it. No. Let me get some more. Well, thank you, Anna. I appreciate it. I look at my older paintings and I get this itch to go ahead and fix things. I don't know, maybe it's just me. So the underpainting is done for this part. Now I'm gonna go ahead and create texture. And basically I'm just gonna, you know, apply very random brush strokes. Even this brighter red, I'm gonna bring it in. Almost very impressionistic, just brush strokes here and there. And this will create texture for me. And that's what I want. again darker here. And it's not acrylic painting if you don't use your fingers. Softening some of those hard edges. Maybe we add some white to our red. And I'm tinting this red right now because I'm adding white. So as you see, it's brighter now. So my aim is to create a better look for this cabin. I don't want to have flat color on it, so I'm just going to change the values and create some texture, some black. Right, this area you need dark, you need real dark to show light. I'm gonna turn on the light in this cabin, and for that to show, to pop, I really need dark value, and that's my dark right here. And same technique here, same process, softening a few of these brush strokes. That's what it is for now. I'm gonna leave it alone, let it dry. I may work on it a bit more later on. Let's apply some color here. I'm gonna have some bushes here, but just in case. I'm gonna switch gear here. I'm gonna switch to my cobalt blue and black. And my fan brush. This is an oil fan brush. I'm gonna use it for acrylic painting. Can you do that? Absolutely. Have I done it? All the time. Any problem? Nah. Just one thing, if you do mixed media, you work with oil and acrylic, separate your brushes. Don't use same brush for oil and switch to acrylics. You know, you want to keep your brushes a bit longer. I am basically mixing in my cobalt blue and black and make a darker value of that color, darker shade. I'm gonna drop a small tree over here. It's evergreen tree, but it's not going to be as tall. Maybe this tall, and maybe it has a friend that is not as big. Here we go, right there. Using the corner of the brush, and this is a big fan brush. Maybe I should have used smaller fan brush here, but that's okay. We can make it work. Just randomly apply impression of pine needles and branches and stuff like that. Let's bring this guy a bit higher. Godsend, how are you? Welcome to the live. Thanks for your support. Thank you for being here. A few bushes here. I'm gonna keep some of the composition as it is. I hope you see my palette. Let's move the palette to this side. Now this is the part that you have to decide how you're going to highlight these bushes. Okay, so they don't look flat. You gotta, create different planes, layers. So I will show you I'll show you what I mean when I highlight them. We've been live for 19 minutes so far. And just applying the dark with this fan brush. Just stumbled on this. Not gonna lie though, it was Bob Ross for a minute. Thought it was Bob Ross for a minute. You're very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Sleeping Society. I'd like to join in your society. I love sleeping. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate your kind words. I hope you come back and stop by again. I hope you subscribe to the channel so you won't lose me. I'd like to see you in the future lives. Stay for as long as you can. I work with acrylics. I know Bob Ross used to do oil, wet on wet. I am inspired by the man myself. Very good man. We lost him too early. All right, so these two guys over here, it's gonna be, it's gonna be small trees. And I think it is rather safe not to really get overcommitted with this kind of, when you paint over, when you bring an element over another element, like in this case the cabin, don't get overcommitted. Go small, and then if you need to like add another one or whatever, you can always do it. Thank you, FTC. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I am not as talented and as articulate as Bob Ross, but I appreciate all the good words and comments and kind words. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So I'm gonna go ahead, pick up some of that cobalt blue, some white, and make some highlight color for these trees. You could use ultramarine blue. You could use phthalo blue. It's up to you what is your favorite, what your favorite blue is. But I think cobalt blue makes it nice it goes well for a night scene. I'm gonna bring in the mid-tone for these trees. Now they are really behind the cabin. They might not get a lot of that moonlight, but this area may get highlighted. We will see. Of course, it's up to you how you want your painting to look. If you want to bend the rules, or you could create some artificial light over here. We're gonna light up the cabin later on, so maybe some of that light casting over these bushes for sure, definitely is gonna look nice. So this is just random, and smoosh some of that paint. This guy too. And keep in mind the shape of a tree, like the Christmas tree, the way you decorate it. So go side to side if you paint these trees, and this is where I want to stop right here, and then I'm gonna have bushes here. So I'm gonna add more white to my blue. Don't go straight white, because at the end of the painting you may need to highlight a bit more, and if you go straight white, then if you decide to bring a little more highlights, you can't. So try to save the straight white for the towards the end of the painting. So I'm gonna say some of this light is casting on this tree and highlight it accordingly. Here we go. Just a bit highlights here and there. And then I'm gonna switch to my mid-tone, add a bit more blue. and just continue blend it in, create a soft, seamless transition from that highlight to my midtone. Now I can bring a bit more details here. I can even switch to a detail brush and drop in small branches and stuff like that. So same brush, maybe not. Let's switch from fan brush to a round brush and pick up some of that midtone that we created. I'm gonna come over here and press against the palette, open those bristles, and I'm gonna go ahead apply some midtone here, basically starting to highlight these bushes. But when I say highlight, this is not the final. You start with the midtone and then we highlight. Sure, no problem. Thanks for being here. And okay, so that's one layer. Now I'm gonna bring in another. So I need to keep some dark in between these bushes. So I'm gonna save some of that dark, and I just subscribe. I enjoy the style of content. Your art is beautiful. Bob Ross would be proud. Thank you. I hope he's watching from heaven. I do really believe in. I'm a very spiritual person, and I hope. I mean, I was inspired by him. So this is the part that you really have to either paint from a reference photo, or just stare at the painting like a crazy man and decide. I mean, see things. Like people who see dead people walking around. You have to imagine, maybe a bush here, maybe a rock over here. You got to start seeing things. So whatever helps for you to kick your imagination, whether it's a Red Bull or whatever. So I'm saying maybe one bush over here, and this is just a midtone. We're not highlighting. We're just carving them out, softening some of this, the base of these bushes. So, So I'm saying maybe another one here. Maybe another one here again. Just make them part of the landscape. And definitely we're going to have some bushes by the window. And we're going to go ahead and highlight them with different colors because we're going to turn on the light of the cabin. So I have plans for that. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead, drop in our midtone here. And I need another, maybe right here. So it's up to you. Even if you're doing this kind of paintings, it's really what you see, and that's what makes every painting unique. I mean, if I want to paint the same scene twice, I won't be able to. Every brush stroke is unique. Every artist is unique, and hence every painting. And that's the beauty of it. That's the difference between an original painting and a print. sad song, so I'm gonna sad music rather. All right, so as you see, slowly but surely is taking shape. It's forming here the midground, some over here. I'm gonna have some rocks there maybe, so just to break the pattern. That's another thing, we don't want to create pattern. But it's okay over here, even if you create pattern over here, because obviously you could argue that this is man-made, this area, landscape. But when you're painting nature, don't create patterns. All right, so this area is getting some light. I'm gonna bring in more white. Maybe a bit more white. Even more white. Press against the palette. And highlight these bushes, bringing some impression of snow. And soften the base of these bushes, just blend it in. As you see, if you're watching a rerun of this live, or if you're watching it right now, as you see, there's really not much to it. Some people want to make it too complicated or make it look too complicated. Really, you can create your own art at home with a little practice. I'm not saying that this is gonna end up in Guggenheim Museum, but it's an okay piece to gift or enjoy it yourself. You can turn it into a Christmas scene. Decorate some of these trees. I can show you maybe in the future lives how you can go ahead and do that and really turn this scene into a Christmas, wonderland. A bit more highlights. And go the step at a time with the highlights, value at a time. Play with the values. When you do monochromatic painting like this, well, it's not monochromatic. We have red and stuff like that, but when you use limited palette, it trains you to play with the values. So that's really helps. And in order to show light, you have to keep some of these bushes as they are. Don't get tempted to highlight all over. I'm not gonna highlight these trees, maybe these bushes, maybe this one, maybe just like right here. Just a bit. And maybe touch over here. Just like that's all. Need the dark to show the light to really make these highlights pop. And soften always. When you work with acrylic paint, make sure you soften your hard edges. That's the problem with acrylics. It creates a lot of hard edges, and with oil it's almost impossible to create hard edges. So every medium is different. I can even bring you guys a bit closer. And you can see what this brush can do. It's a very inexpensive brush as well. I got this at Dollar Tree for $1. Amazing brush. Don't judge a brush by its value, monetary value. All right, so enough with these bushes. I guess we could. All right. I'm gonna drop this brush into a bucket of water. Give me a few minutes. I'll be right back. I need to get some yellow for the for this window. Bring in the light. And what else we need? And we need to finish this area as well. All right, I'm back. Let's get some red here. And I'm gonna switch to a detail brush. I'm gonna bring some yellow, some of that red, create an orangey color. And I'm gonna go ahead, drop it here. I may have to go back and highlight some of those bushes. So that would be the base coat for it. Now I'm gonna bring a bit more red, make it a bit more reddish, orangey color. So the idea is the light is brighter at uppermost part of the window, and as you, I mean, it's closer to the ceiling, and as you go down to the floor, it gets a bit darker, so the light will change toward like red, and up there is like bright, even white or yellowish. So we're gonna do that transition. I can even bring in some white. It's up to you how intense you want it to be. And maybe up here as well. Just like that. I mean, you can let it dry, go over it again. So everywhere you look, We have highlighted the bushes with cobalt blue and white. Now for this area, because the light is casting on these bushes, I'm gonna go ahead, switch to white and yellow. And I'm just gonna go ahead, I can use the same brush, the round brush, or use the detail brush. I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight these bushes with a different colors so we can indicate illusion of maybe some of that light from the window casting on these bushes over here, and always soften and smoosh those colors. I'm gonna do the same thing with the round brush. Maybe some of these bushes here catching some of that light. You could use different brushes, whatever you're comfortable with. So some in this area. And that would be impression of some light hitting this vegetation here. Now we can bring in more details for the window later on. We have to let that paint dry. And it's really up to you how much light you want to show, how far you want to take it. I'm going to switch to my cobalt blue and black. I have to move this palette a bit over here. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in underpainting dark for a few rocks over here. And maybe we have another one, big one over here. And really scrub this paint. Let's get some black. Just random shapes, really. Just apply the dark. And maybe another rock here. Mostly black, some cobalt blue. Think of the shape of the rocks, boulders, whatever they are. Back to the round brush and some cobalt blue and white. Just gonna go ahead, work on some of these bushes here before we paint the rocks. A bit darker maybe. Smoosh some of that paint. Now we're gonna switch to our filbert. And I'm gonna go ahead, same mix, cobalt blue and white. And I'm gonna bring it here, carving out some of these rocks. Maybe there is one rock over here. Maybe one more sitting here. Just gonna, they are gonna be snow covered. So basically we are painting the impression of snow on these rocks. We're not painting the rock itself, if it makes any sense. And we're gonna show some of that dark. I got some paint on my easel. And changing the shape of these rocks. We don't want to create same shape all over. So over here, I'm happy with this one at the corner. And maybe one more here. Maybe a small one here right in front of it. Just like that. Smoosh some of that. Keep some of that dark behind the rock. It creates interest. It creates depth. As you see, here we go. If you don't like to use your fingers with this paints, this is cobalt blue, you know, cadmium yellow and stuff like that, all these elements. You could use two brushes. So apply highlight with one brush, and then let me show you. Let me wash this brush. And then bring in another brush and just soften it. If you don't want, if you're not comfortable, you know, using your fingers, you can use gloves, or you know, just do this technique. Because some people are not comfortable, you know, touching these, you know, paints, because they have, you know, those elements in there, cadmium and titanium white, stuff like that. And let's have one small one in front of this rock, and then another one up here. And these are just going to be snow covered. We're going to show some of that dark. We need the dark. We've been live for 49 minutes. So we should be able to wrap up this segment soon. Another rock here. Now we can bring in some impression of other bushes and stuff like that in between. Or maybe like small rocks, maybe like another small rock over here. Just break the pattern, you know. Maybe a bit darker here. And that's about it, I guess. I mean, nothing much to it. It's just busy work, and you got to be, patient with it. Don't try to finish it quickly. Take your time. I'm not painting from a reference photo, um, but if you've never done this, kind of scenes, I recommend, take a painting and, use it as a reference photo. It doesn't have to be this painting, any painting. It's okay to copy another artist, just to learn. But once you have learned, then you create your own scenes. You don't want to, keep copying other artists, but in the beginning, or you could look at some reference photos. I mean, take some pictures. Go online, AI generated images, and with these snow covered rocks, once you apply your midtone, you create another value, a lighter value, you go over it. Okay, always have three colors in every element: dark tone, mid-tone, and highlight. That's the minimum. This is a monochromatic painting, but in reality, if you're painting rocks and you're not using monochromatic painting, even you can switch the colors, like use raw umber, burnt umber, sienna, red, yellow, all sort of different colors in one rock. You really see different shades of all these colors when you look at nature. So the source of light is the moon, and I'm highlighting these rocks accordingly. Now if you want to bring some of that yellow here onto these rocks, let this dry and then do that, otherwise you're going to get green, and I don't want to have green in this painting. I'm going to pick up some white. I'm just going to slide my brush over this like a water slide, just like that, and the paint will break and creates cool impression of textured look in the foreground, just like that. Here we go. I hope you can see it. I hope the camera will pick it up. All right, what else we can do here? And you can highlight these bushes, with the same technique. If you don't have that round brush that I show you, you can just go ahead and just like that, stamping technique, just like that, create highlights for these bushes. All sorts of things you can do with a filbert brush. You don't have to have the round brush that I use. As you see, it creates almost same effect. Just gonna do it with this brush so you can see. So unlock your brushes. If you have brushes, painting a bush. I mean, if you have brushes, of course you have brushes, but you have different brushes. You're painting a bush, you're highlighting a bush. Try to do it with like 4 or 5 different brushes and see the difference. See which one is producing better result for you, which one you're more comfortable with using it, and stuff like that. As you see, this filbert brush is also creating cool impression of the snow on these bushes. So here we go. You don't even have to use a bristle brush or a fan brush. And I hope this demo was helpful if you watched it live or if you watched it as a rerun. I hope you like the videos, support the channel, and I hope you keep coming back for more videos. And all those likes really helps the channel to grow. And here it is, this side of the painting, at least for now. I can bring in a bit more of that blue. And this is just the stamping. I'm using the side of the brush. Some smooshing. Now I'm gonna wash that brush. Looks great. I will be back later. No, yeah, definitely. Thank you. Oh, Richard. Richard, I'm sorry I didn't see the chat. How are you, my friend? Are you still here? If you're still here, thank you. If not, I will send you a message later on. I hope you're still here. Doing great. Oh, thank you, Richard. I appreciate it. Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. So I'm gonna bring in, I'm wrapping up almost here. I mean, thank you. Almost done over here. I'm gonna bring in some yellow. And I think this is dry. No. Anyway, I want to do this before I go, so I'm gonna take a chance. So I'm gonna say some of that light is casting on this rock. I don't want to create green, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Here we go. And maybe this one, just a bit. All right, that's all. Just wanted to show you this part too. And I'm gonna see you guys hopefully with another live this week. Happy painting. Wish you all the best. Thank you, Richard. Sleeping Society, FDC, Godsend, and everybody else who joined the live. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. And take care. And let me give you a bit close up before we go. And that's the painting so far. That side has to be worked on. All right, take care. Have a good night, everybody.